Hello everyone, and today we are taking a look at a rather obscure entrenching tool. This entrenching tool had a really short lifespan, let's say in the British Army, but then it had a much more longer lifespan in Dutch service. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this entrenching tool. So here we have the 1939 Pattern Entrenching tool. The 1939 Pattern Entrenching tool, like in the name, was introduced in 1939, but however was not used at Dunkirk, unlike some retailers say, especially like retailer Soldier of Fortune, as the BEF never took these to France in 1939. You would only see these with replacements and training after Dunkirk, and the last time you'd see these is the 5th Division embarking to Italy in 1943, I believe. So we'll take a look at this example. So this one is an original. So the shovel itself is an original, but now the cover is a repro cover by Soldier of Fortune by K Canvas. It's a pretty good cover, I will admit. Well, we'll take a look at the pieces separately. So you actually have this strap that wraps all the way around the entrenching tool, like so. On originals, it wasn't actually wrapped around, because typically with most repros you would get it wrapped around twice. With most repros you can get it wrapped around probably about twice. As you can see, there's still good extra bit of strap. This does have 1-inch buckles. That is why one major critique with Soldier of Fortune is that these buckles are not the best. I think I did say in the video that I might replace these buckles with genuine ones, as honestly these do not look too good, and I also had to modify them so the cross straps will actually go through. But either way, just to undo it, you've got to undo the strap, just like so. Do it again, and you undo the strap and then pull out. We'll take a look at the cover later. So as you can see, here's the 1939 Pattern Entrenching tool. So we got a big head, which is good for shovels. Well, not shovels, but for digging. Of course, you've got a pretty good handle, pretty good sturdy handle as well. But yeah, the 1939 was actually copied off some of the European models of a entrenching tool, which is interesting. And the interesting part is that this replaced the 1908 Pattern Entrenching tool, but we would ultimately reintroduce it in 1941. This one's in pretty good condition, besides from some rust and probably some dirt and stuff. I am going to clean this one up just to preserve it for the longevity. Same on the back. You can see this rivet is slowly coming undone, because that's supposed to be pinned down. There's some strengthening parts. Of course, you've got the handle. I did mention in an earlier video that this part here is more supposed to be like a bulb, and of course there is a good chunk missing out of it, and there's also a crack developing, and there's also a chip missing out there. Other than that, it's in pretty good condition. It is made by Braids, so you can see the DES, and there's a bit of the A. It's fairly pitted. So Braids, 1941, the government era. I believe on the earlier versions they were actually stamped on the head, because this one is actually its last year of service, that being 1941. So I believe this one was stamped right here. What makes these entrenching tools so rare, especially this one, is that most entrenching tools that you can find are stamped on the handle with RP and a number. RP is not a soldier's name or initials and their service number. RP is the Dutch word for digging tool, which is Raupensplange. Hopefully I said that correctly. So Raupensplange and then the number. That's right. So after these were sold off in 1947, the Dutch ultimately took these on, remarked the handles with RP and then a number, reissued them to the Dutch Civil Defence. But however, this one's even more rare, as on the handle it has not been stamped with RP, so this one escaped Dutch service. So this is still a British entrenching tool. These entrenching tools are starting to get a little bit expensive, especially now on the collector's market, as many reenactors have thought that these have been used at Dunkirk. These never saw Dunkirk. These only saw training and a few other places. Training and Italy, and that's about it. And then of course they were sold out of service in 1947. So that's the entrenchment tool. Now let's actually take a look at its cover. So here we have the 1939 Pattern Entrenching tool cover. Now the cover is rather interesting. So it's a square basically. There's a square cover with two 1-inch buckles on the top and this 1/4-inch strap here with a 1/4-inch buckle. And of course it's got a big area for the actual head, for the head of the shovel in there. Otherwise it's pretty good. It's a pretty good design, but however there was one major flaw that British soldiers didn't like it very much, is that because the head's in here, the handle actually hangs below, and so when soldiers are on the march, the handle bounces along their leg, which was a bit of an issue, as that was a bit irritating as well. So of course you have this strap which you can use to buckle it up as well. The interesting part is, if you get a hold of the original cover, you might notice a massive stain right there. Now on originals, yes, that stain is there. Reason being is because when these were sold off, I believe, onto the surplus market or discontinued in 1947, the British Army decided, or when they were discontinuing, they ultimately decided to go and put a massive stain there that you couldn't wash out. And the only way that people have managed to, or people probably use them, is re-blancoing it. So that's what they probably have done to cover up that hideous stain there. Now then, I'm going to show you how to put the strap back on. So what you do is, make sure the entrenching tool is like this. You take the strap, you wrap it around once, and of course you can wrap it around again, but of course that will not allow the strap to actually tighten up. So then once you've got it tight enough, bring it to the buckle, make sure it's nice and tight so it doesn't go anywhere, close it on up, pull, and it's now nice and secure in the cover. So then, I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. This is certainly a oddity for a entrenching tool, as 1939 pattern doesn't really get talked about that often, and there's also some misconceptions about it as well, like it was used in France by the BEF in Dunkirk. To which it never was used by the BEF in France in 1939, 1940. Yeah, that's all I've really got to say for this video. Once again, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.